and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I am your guest host. My name is Orrett Connor, and my question to you is, what are your plans for Sunday, the 8th of June, 2025? If you are a recreational runner, or if you're a serious runner preparing for any competitive event that may be taking place, maybe a little bit too early to be preparing for the marathon, Cayman Islands Marathon, but we have something to tell you about the 8th of June taking place. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen. Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. So, Sunday, the 8th day of June, 2025, there's an event taking place. It is an event that is brought to you by the Cayman Islands Turtle Conservation and Education Center. We're going to set a few house rules before we start. If you have any questions or comments about the event, please send them to us via our WhatsApp number 925-3261, as this segment will be closed off to live phone calls as well. And in your questions, if you're interested in knowing the price of turtle meat or how you get turtle meat, we won't be talking about that during this segment as well. We will be talking about the Turtle Crawl 5K 2025. And in the studio, we have representatives from the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center. We have Ms. Tiffany Dixon-Ebanks, who is the Chief Marketing and Merchandising Officer. Dr. Navi, I'll say it the way it's written so I don't have to mispronounce any names, just Dr. Navi, who's the veterinarian at the center, as well as Ms. Shona McGill, who's the Assistant Curator Education Programs at the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center. Ladies, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, let's tell all of our listeners and our viewers as well, give them some information about the center itself, the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center. I have to take my time and say that as well, because I'm accustomed to the turtle farm, but we'll explain why we no longer use that that title anymore.
I think for today's session, Mr. OC, to make it easier for you, you could just refer to us as Cayman Turtle Center.
Cayman Turtle Center. Okay, great.
Yeah, I think we can all work with that one.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Yes. Yeah. So let's tell our listeners and our viewers about the center itself.
So the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center is a conservation, education, and scientific research organization, and also one of the largest tourism attractions in the Cayman Islands. Our mission and work encompass a multifaceted approach to the conservation of sea turtles and other indigenous animals. Through an extensive and proven captive breeding and release program, our aim is to sustain and increase the wild population of green sea turtles in the Cayman Islands, as well as other at-risk species such as the Cayman parrot. And our organization advances the results through the release of captive bred sea turtles into the wild by collaborative scientific studies and by integrating conservation with the education of visitors and residents.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about the visitors and residents and what you do as far as entertainment as well as education, for them as well?
Yeah, so we have tours coming through the center. So we have cruise tourism coming through. We also have stayover visitors that come to our center, and we also have school groups that come through, and we teach them all about the species we work very closely with, which is the green sea turtle, but also loads of other species like the Cayman parrot and the white crowned pigeon and a few of the other species that we have too. Okay,
and the center has gone through a certain amount of transformation since its inception here in the Cayman Islands as well. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I think over the years it's developed significantly. I think maybe I'll just share a little bit about my little connection through my husband, Mr. Eford, who actually started. Tiffany is my father-in-law. So he worked with the Turtle Center in 1968, which was mariculture at the time when it was formed. Right. And so I kind of heard through my family some little stories about, what his time there. It was a lot of hard labor. I believe I've just heard some background information just because of my family, and my husband and his sisters used to go down and help their dad work at the center at the time, and everything was really manual. Today, I know that Dr. Navi and her team, they did the breeder. We do this breeder round checkup on an annual basis to check on the health of the animals. And Turtle Center at this time, we bring in the crane and the equipment, and it's all modern. And I know that back in the day, it was all done by hand. They actually lifted the turtles themselves, measured them themselves, weighed them themselves. So there's been a significant transformation over the years. And even in the space of the last 15 years, when you see some of the tourists that have come here in the late 1990s, 2000, and now, they come back and say, wow, it's such a big difference. We have facilities like our saltwater lagoon where persons can come and swim and interact with the wildlife that's there, which is really exciting. There's a lot of infrastructure that goes into that to ensure that our environment remains pristine. We actually do water testing and to ensure that all of our visitors and our local residents as well. I know we mentioned visitors, tourists, cruise ship passengers coming and stayover guests coming, but we also have a good facility for our family gatherings for our residents that live here. We have our Grill and Chill Saturdays barbecue where you can come out and enjoy by the pool with the children and have a nice meal. Schooners has the best food on island. Little secret. And we have our Twister water slide, which is the freshwater pool. We also have our breeder pond, which is an ongoing attraction. Persons can actually feed the turtles. And last but not, you have an aviary now. And I know Shona is the one. We actually experienced World Parrot Day just this weekend, and we had little educational sessions, as Shona mentioned. We invite the schools, we invite persons to come and learn about the different conservation efforts that we have. So I know she'll be able to talk more about that later on. But in essence, it's an all-inclusive, I don't know if you want to call it Turtle Center an all-inclusive hotel, but it's an all-inclusive interactive wildlife encounter that allows you to touch on all these various points. And before you leave, you can actually take something with you. We have a gift shop there, which has a lot of locally made and produced gifts, keepsakes. We even have some nice books in there that talk about the history and heritage of the Cayman Islands. And so we welcome anyone at any point. We open 363 days a year. We only close on Christmas Day and Good Friday. And so people are, encouraged to come back again and again. But that's a mouthful. Today we're going to be talking about our annual 5K walk run, which is really a fundraiser. And Dr. Navi, I think you are the one, you've been here since the inception of it, and she would be able to talk more about it. So I don't want to take her thunder on that. Sure. So I'll ask Dr. Navi to kind of talk about where this started and where we are today. And of the ladies in the room with us, I am the newest member on the team because I've been with the Cayman Islands Turtle Center for about a year and a half now. Okay. And so the Turtle Crawl event that happened last time, I was recently hired. So I just came and we did that event. And now that we're doing this second one, it's really exciting to work with the team to pull it off and have everything go smoothly. So.
Excellent. So we're going to take a commercial break, and then when we return, we will hear from Dr. Navi as well. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
The Cayman Turtle Center's Turtle Crawl 5K is back, Sunday, June 8th, starting from the Cayman Turtle Center at 6:30 a.m. Registration is $25 CI and includes a race shirt and a goodie bag. All funds raised will support conservation of green sea turtles in the Cayman Islands. Corporate discounts are available by emailing info@turtle.ky. Register now for the Turtle Crawl 5K at turtlecrawl.ky. Proudly sponsored by Advanced Fire, Corporate Electric, CG Brit K, Yanni's Photography, and Oasis Medical Group.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. For those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about the Turtle Crawl 5K 2025, an event that is put on by the Cayman Turtle Conservation Center. I'll leave out the education. So that's put on by the center. In the studio with us, we have Miss Tiffany Dixon-Ebanks, who's the Chief Marketing and Merchandising Officer. Also, Ms. Shona McGill, who's Assistant Curator, Education Programs. And the person that we're going to hear from now, Dr. Navi, who's the veterinarian at the center as well. Doctor, we're going to give you the mic. All over to you.
Thank you. So I'm really happy to say that this is the 5th year that we're doing this Turtle Crawl 5K. So, 5 years ago, we weren't sure if this idea was even going to work. We were thinking that, how do we engage people? How do we engage our community and have them come together, give a little education out there, but also have, show them how to have fun at this event as well, and also to support this worthy cause. And, the funds that already have been raised over those 5 years, they have helped me purchase some essential medical equipment. So, for example, we purchased an endoscope, which is a valuable piece of medical equipment that I can use to actually open the turtle's mouth and actually look down inside close to the stomach and see if the turtle has ingested anything, because these turtles in this setting sometimes they might nibble on something that they shouldn't, and if I am able to catch it on time, then I'm able to take it out of the stomach. So that's a very helpful tool to me. So by people actually supporting this turtle crawl, they're helping to contribute that donation money they've donated to these causes. We're using it to do research. We're using it for our breeding and release programs, our head-started turtle releases or hatchling releases, any medical equipment. So all of that donations, we're using it for those efforts. So it's rewarding to see that people actually want to come out and help as well and help us do this.
So over this 5-year period, what have you noticed in terms of participation?
So I actually noticed that people enjoy it. We've gotten positive feedback, and we're allowing people to bring their dogs to the walk as well, and they're really happy about that. We have water stations for the dogs, so people are like, oh, well, we're happy to bring our dog on the walk, because then, we can come and relax after, know our dogs are okay. People really like the shirts from the event, and people have been collecting our shirts every year. So this year, we brought a shirt to the studio to show you, but this year we've changed up the design, and it's like, our 5-year collector shirt.
I think I saw one. You can hold it up to the camera, and
yes. It's a really lovely design. And when I go out in public, I see people wearing these shirts, and I'm like, wow, you were at the Turtle Crawl. That's amazing.
And I want to just do a shout out. She's not with us anymore, but Whitney Foster. She was very instrumental in this year's shirt.
Yeah.
And so just want to do a little shout out to Whitney for that.
And who came up with the name Turtle Crawl? Who came up with that idea?
We were just brainstorming, trying to figure that out. And we were like, well, turtles don't run, they crawl. So we'll have our participants, do the turtle crawl. And we've seen actually for the last 2 years straight, I think the same person has won the event. So I think that person will be back for a 3rd time to try to win it again. So, it's a fun time for all. And after the event, after the race, we have raffle prizes to be drawn. And, we have breakfast items there as well. So people are usually happy to stay around. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk some more about the event. The time, talk about registration, the course that will be taken, and all of the relevant information, how a person is allowed to register, whether or not you have same-day registration or if they have to register before. Let's give out all of that information to those persons who are interested. Of course, those persons who have participated before, I'm sure that they have everything down pat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our 5th annual Turtle Crawl 5K Walk and Run is going to take place this Sunday, June 8th. And it's also World Oceans Day on that day as well,
wow.
so it's a multifaceted event as well. It starts at 6:30 a.m., so we recommend people come a little bit earlier at whatever you want to wake up, 5:30, 6 a.m. There is a registration fee of $25 CI. And the route goes from Cayman Turtle Center down Northwest Point Road to West Bay Public Beach and back.
Okay.
And you can you can visit www.turtlecrawl.ky if you want to register for the event. If you do have a corporate group that wants to take part, we do have corporate group rates if you have more than 10 people registering. And for that, you can email info@turtle.ky for more information.
Okay, and the route that you described, that is relatively safe route because you're not crossing any intersections at all. Yeah, you may be crossing, trying to remember the name of the road now that
Watercourse
Road.
Yeah.
But that's not a four-way intersection, as well. So it's a relatively safe route as well. Yeah.
Yes, it is, and we also have the police support there, and we do have water stop stations in between as well. So we'll have people throughout. We also have Mr. Geddes, who will be on his bicycle, up and down as well. So. Yeah, it's people usually tell me they like the route because it's a different route than what's usually available.
Yeah, I think you have another employee there now who's also a cyclist and a bike rider, Mr. James Jackson.
Oh, yes.
So you could get him to bring his bicycle out as well.
You just called him out. Yeah, so, you just called him out now, so he has to show up. I think I would love to, if I could interject now
Sure.
I just want to say thank you to Radio Cayman for coming on board to support us. You've done it for the last couple of years as well as a sponsor for our Turtle Crawl 5K this year. Other event sponsors that I just want to shout out are Double M Distribution, Stingray Media, Progressive Distributors, Health City Cayman Islands has come on this year, CG Brit K, Advanced Fire and Plumbing, Oasis Medical Group, Corporate Electric, Yannis Photography. And then we also have a few other persons who have come on to support us in addition this year that I want to ensure that I mention them. M Souvenirs, Composed Media, and High Impact Media. Just want to say thank you for anyone out there that's listening from any of these organizations. We really, truly appreciate your support because we could not do this without those funds. Some of it is cash sponsorships and some of it is in kind. And we really appreciate it.
Excellent. So there are some persons who simply like to show up at these events.
Yes.
Let's talk about why it's so important to register and
In
what
advance.
benefits come with registration in advance as well.
So you can register in advance, as Shona said. You can do it through our website, and a collection of the packages will be on Friday and Saturday for distribution. However, you can register on the day itself, but that may not 100% guarantee you a t-shirt. It all depends on availability of the stock we have. So people who have registered in advance, they're getting their t-shirts.
And they're also getting a little goodie bag
Yeah.
with a few little knickknacks in there as well. So you don't want to miss out on that too.
Exactly.
Okay. So, we can talk a little bit more about any additional perks that we want to talk about that participants, one big perk is, if you have a dog and you want to bring your dog along, you can.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But the raffle prizes too, we have some really good raffle prizes this year. So we have brunch for two at Kimpton and brunch for two at Hotel Indigo. We also have a $150 voucher from Miss Piper's Kitchen and Garden. A one-night stay for two persons at Hampton by Hilton. Ted Green, we have some of his fragrances. He's generously donated. Exactly. Da Vinci Wellness Center, they will actually be at the event as well. They have a little booth that would be there. We have Papagallo giving gift certificates as well. Cryo 345 and F45 for the sporty people. So, there's a 1 month F45. That's a $285 value. So, really good prizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know at some of these events, some people will come, participate, and they're gone. They leave.
Yeah.
Some people may have to go to church. Some people may have another event. Now, do you have to be present to win the prizes, or is there information on the ticket that you can contact the winner later on?
Well,
No,
you need
you
to
have
be
to be
there. You need to be there.
I thought so.
And it's a short, fun family run.
Yeah.
And walk, right? It's not going to be a long, drawn out, we get to the point. Shona is actually the MC of the event.
Okay.
And she's a very, she's a very good
We could have
speaker.
used her here today. I could have stayed home.
She will deliver her message, I know, very succinctly, very informedly to the participants who are there. We will have a little bit of education just to let people know, as we're doing today, what this is about and where their funds are going. However, it's really just the excitement, the camaraderie, and ensuring that we're able to have winners drawn. And we also do have, we haven't mentioned it yet, we are going to have refreshments
Yes.
available, coffee, tea, juices.
Before and after, or just
before,
after?
during, and after.
Okay.
Right? So I know we normally put fruits out, juices. So, we're welcoming, you're not paying. It's just complimentary refreshment for you. So if you're there, feel free to refresh yourself, have a drink, cool off. One of the perks that's actually coming after for those who would like to stay, I know people will come, enjoy the run, and they'll have to go off. But if there's anyone who is thinking about enjoying the park for that day, they're welcome to stay back, or they could even go home and then come back with their family, return with their families. And we're having a special admission rate just for that day for all residents who participate in the crawl. Just $10 for adults and $5 for children to come in. We are also, because the center is open that day for business as usual, and our Splash gift shop opens at 8 in the morning. And for that day, we're going to be doing some special spin the wheel wins, purchase something in the gift shop that day as a part of the Turtle Crawl participants, and you have a chance to win something. So that's a little bit of excitement, a little added perk this year for year 5. So
excellent. We're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, we want to talk about the importance of sea turtles, about the cultural significance, the keystone species, the socioeconomic benefits, reefs. We know that turtling goes back a long way. That's part of our heritage. We have had to make a paradigm shift in terms of, how we treat our turtles, how we appreciate them, and at the same time still be able to enjoy it as part of our diet. But we want to talk more about that as soon as we return from the commercial break. So, folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo footlong cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points, or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo footlong cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
We are now in the hurricane season, and to survive a hurricane, you need to be informed. If you have been informed by official sources that a hurricane is approaching the Cayman Islands, and you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding or near the beaches, which may be swept by high tides or storm waves, please seek a safe place and high ground. If the only way for you to get to a safe place is a road that is also likely to be flooded during a storm, please leave home early. Don't run the risk of being stranded. This has been a public service announcement from your community station, Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We're on the last leg of this segment of the show. We're talking about the Turtle Crawl 5K 2025, an event that is put on by the Cayman Turtle Center. In the studio with me, we have Miss Tiffany Dixon-Ebanks, who's the Chief Marketing and Merchandising Officer, Dr. Navi, who's the veterinarian, and Miss Shona McGill, who's the Assistant Curator, Education Programs. So they have all of the information. I'm going to just push my mic one side and let them do all of the talking, ladies.
So yeah, the 5th annual Turtle Crawl 5K helps support our conservation programs at the center, including our parrot conservation, our white crown pigeon conservation, but also very importantly, our green sea turtle conservation programs. So most of us here in Cayman understand just how important the sea turtle is to us here. They are the very reason our islands were discovered in the first place. They were called Las Tortugas initially because there were so many turtles around our islands that they looked like a coral reef. Mm-hmm. In fact, we think we probably had one of the largest turtle breeding colonies in the Caribbean. Wow. Now those numbers aren't quite there, sadly. But they do play a really important role in the marine environment. So not only culturally, but to us here. By being large herbivores, they maintain seagrass beds, keeping that as healthy nursery habitats for things like mollusks and crustaceans. But also they protect us from storm surges and hurricanes by solidifying the ocean floor.
Okay.
They'll eat algae that grows on our coral reefs. And with climate change, we're starting to see a lot of algae growth now. Mm-hmm. So by eating that, they help keep coral reefs thriving. But on top of that, they have a socioeconomic benefit. So we have people that come here for dive tourism. We have some of the best diving. I'm a diver, so personally, yes. I'm a bit biased, but I do think we have some of the best diving here, and nothing quite makes a dive like seeing a turtle or a shark. So they are a keystone species, very important to our marine environment. Without them, everything would collapse. And the downside is they do face a lot of threats out in the wild. So they have about a 1 in 1,000 chance of surviving to adulthood, which is why they lay so many eggs. But they have numerous threats like poaching. Dr. Navi was called out to an incident in January of this year, of a poaching incident. And sadly, it was a subadult female, so not breeding age, that did sadly succumb to her injuries. Oh, wow. And poaching still takes place in quite large numbers. Then we also have climate change, which is affecting them, whether that's coastal erosion, tides rising as well, and habitat loss and destruction. So the conservation of sea turtles is quite important, and taking part in this activity goes on to help support that, whether that's through our research programs like Dr. Navi mentioned, or just even spreading the word about sea turtles and how important they are.
Okay. Dr. Navi, anything you want to add there?
I mean, as Shona mentioned with the turtle poaching, the incident that happened in January, I mean, it's very sad that, poaching is still, happening, but as it's still going to happen. So what we can do is help the DOE with that. If a turtle is poached, and also we can help by releasing our head-started turtles with our program. So by people participating in this, they're helping for us to prepare these turtles, these head-started turtles, to be released into the wild, and that's giving them a better chance of survivability out there. There's less predators for them at that age. We're releasing them at 1.5, 2-year-olds, sometimes 3-year-olds, so they're bigger. So they're able to fend for themselves. And we're seeing evidence of the turtles that we've released in the wild actually staying around. We had another incident with a turtle that the DOE found, and that turtle had turtle grass. It was eating turtle grass. So when people ask us, well, you're releasing a turtle from a captive facility, how do you know it's surviving in the wild? We know, we have evidence. We're seeing turtles. I actually recently got a picture from the DOE that one of them had a tag on them, a skin tag, and that turtle had been released in the 80s. Wow. Yeah. So we have various ways of tagging turtles, and we're still tracking them, monitoring them. A recent study showed that 90% of the turtles in the wild have DNA related to the turtle center. So we know our Head Started program is working. So I think we're doing a great job with helping with the populations, helping sustain the populations in the waters of the Cayman Islands.
And how do you ensure that those skeptics out there get this type of information to see the positive results that are occurring based on what you do at the Turtle Center?
Great question. So that's why we do a lot of education, and that's something Shona's good at. So whenever we have our Head Started releases, so for example, we will be having a public release that Miss Tiffany will probably provide more information on. But when we have these events, we send that message out there. And when people come to visit the center, we're also, giving them that message. All the schools, all the kids pass through the Turtle Center at least once for the year. So we're already giving them that message. We're also encouraging them to pick up plastics, reduce the plastic use to help the sea turtles. And they understand that. So it's just a matter of education for people. And we have the research to back it up as well.
Excellent. Miss Shona.
Me?
Sorry.
You're fine.
I think he looked at me and he said, I think he called me Shona.
Yes. I did.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think I'll jump in here. So as Dr. Navi said, all the good work that has been done over the years, I think sitting here today, we would be remiss in not thanking everyone who has participated over the years, as well as the current team at Cayman Turtle Center. We have over 100 staff members who work in various areas of our facility, from the admin to the finance to the animal programs to the retail to the F&B teams to the infrastructure teams, who, without them, putting, all the different pieces that go together to make Cayman Turtle Center be the place it is. It wouldn't be that way without the hard work and dedication of our team. And for those in the listening world who probably might not be aware, Cayman Turtle Center, and I learned this when I started working there a year and a half ago, is refer to our staff and colleagues as crew members. And it's kind of like a homage to the seafaring heritage and the maritime heritage and so on. So our fellow crew members who may be listening, just want to say thank you for all the work that you do every year. And for those of you on the Turtle Crawl 5K committee in particular, who've been working very hard. I know that even as we speak right now, there is a team that's in our conference room right now putting T-shirts and packages together for collection. So thank you for that. And World Sea Turtle Day, as Dr. Navi mentioned, World Sea Turtle Day, we're having a public turtle release. It's actually going to be taking place on Monday, June the 16th at 10 a.m. It's open to the public. It's going to be at Governor's Beach. And we are inviting, for those listening, corporate sponsorships. If anyone wants to sponsor the release, it's a good opportunity for you to showcase your brand and align with conservation efforts, as well as get your brand showcased. It also gives you the opportunity to name the turtle when it's tagged. It's kind of like one of those perks of getting a certificate that you have named a turtle that has been released into the wild. So give yourself a pat on the shoulder. So just want to let everyone know that that's coming up as well as another activity of the Cayman Turtle Center.
Okay. We had one question, and I'm going to sort of, I'm going to frame it slightly different from the way that they framed it. Do you offer any cooking lessons at the center?
Not currently. No, we do not.
Yeah. I think I will cover that one when we have our open mic later on, that you guys are not there, because we get so many complaints, from people who partake, in turtle stew, and they complain about the way that it has been cooked, the traditional way. But we know that you have to create a balance where you are as far as the Turtle Center, is concerned as well. So we won't put you on the spot in relation to that, but I want to give you all an opportunity for some closing comments, as well. So we can start with Ms. Shona. Get it right this time.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll start off and then I'll hand over to Tiffany. But I just want to say, yes, there is the 5K that you can take part in, but every person at home can be a conservationist and help sea turtles along the way. So we do have support our Turtle Crawl 5K this Sunday. Not only are you supporting sea turtles, you're also supporting World Ocean Day. But just simple things like reducing your carbon footprint as much as possible, limit your use of plastics, because scientists are getting a bit scared now of where we're finding plastics. It's in our food, it's in human organs, and loads of other species. Yep. So trying to stop using plastics as much as possible. You can participate in beach cleanups. Go walk the beach early in the morning, take something with you and collect any bottles or any cans you might see. Help clean our beaches, and then also just support ocean and turtle conservation in the long run. And one of the best ways to do that, although we are biased, is taking part in our Turtle Crawl 5K. So I will hand over to Tiffany to leave those remarks.
Sure.
I think, Shona, you did a good wrap-up for all of us. Just want to say, it's not too late. I know we've gotten some emails saying, is it too late to sign up? No, it's not. So we're encouraged anyone who is interested in supporting, participating, even if you want to just, maybe you can't do the 5K, but you want to still participate, watch on the sidelines, we welcome you to do that as well. Go to www.turtlecrawl.ky and register to participate. We also invite persons, even after the 5K is done and even after World Sea Turtle, the turtle release is done, just to keep in touch with us. We have an active social media following on Instagram, Facebook. You can go onto our website, www.turtle.ky. Follow our information. We try to put we actually have a series now called Green Tales, where we have little short videos of, did you know that we released 36,000 turtles into the wild? So we're pretty proud of that. Our leadership as well, team, we try to get the message out about what we do.
Yes.
And so if we can do it in short, manageable information bites that people can understand, it makes it better, because we do have a lot of information to share. And so we just want to ask people to keep in touch with us, keep on coming out to support the Cayman Turtle Center. Even if you've been there a week ago, you can still come back. We'll welcome everyone.
Okay, and we'll welcome you here on Radio Cayman too, to share your stories and to all of the events that are taking place, or just to come on and promote the Turtle Center as well. You're welcome right here on Radio Cayman to do that.
Thank you so much.
We're the radio station of the people of the Cayman Islands, the people's radio station. So they're all hearing you out there. So ladies, good luck on the 8th on the Turtle Crawl as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break, or actually we're going to our headline news. When we return, if there are no guests in the studio, the phone lines will be open. We will talk, and then I can maybe give you a little lesson about cooking turtle meat as well. My first time cooking it, I was on the phone with my mother on one end, getting instructions from her, and it turned out real great. And since then, I'm an expert on it as well. Please stay tuned for the record. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Tiffany-Ebanks. Gino Wright appeared in Grand Court on Friday, pleading not guilty to charges of robbery and carrying a restricted weapon. The Crown alleges that on the 4th of March, Mr. Wright stole KYD $600 in cigarettes from the Mary Street convenience store, using force against the clerk. He also faces a charge of possessing a machete. His trial is scheduled for the 13th of October, lasting 3 to 5 days, following a case management conference to determine whether it will be conducted by a jury or judge alone. In regional news, in Trinidad, Penelope Beckles is set to make history as the first woman to lead the People's National Movement after being nominated unopposed for the position on Monday. Beckles, who previously challenged former Prime Minister Keith Rowley for party leadership 11 years ago, expressed honor at the opportunity. Former Prime Minister Stuart Young, expected by some to contest the role, confirmed he would not seek a position. Beckles will officially assume leadership on the 22nd of June, ahead of the party's special convention on the 29th. In other Trinidad news, the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association has expressed serious concern over the circumstances that prevented Jamaican dancehall artist Vibes Cartel from performing at the One Caribbean Music Festival last weekend. Cartel's team stated that the promoter failed to meet contractual obligations, leading to his withdrawal from the event. The TTPA, which is not affiliated with the organizers, emphasized the importance of upholding event standards and called for legislative reform to protect entertainers and event producers. That's your latest headlines. I'm Tiffany-Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born September 25, 1947, at Watering Place, Cayman Brac, Royce Adolphus Dilbert was the firstborn son to Hallen and Grace Dilbert, née Tibbetts. As a young boy, he attended Weston Primary School, then later Gainstead High School in Jamaica, when the family moved there to be closer to his dad, who was chief engineer on Cockernel ships. During school breaks, he would work at Hannah's haberdashery store as a wrapper. Wanting to be a seaman and engineer like his dad, shortly after his 16th birthday, Royce would join his dad on the Cockernel ship, the Kirk Pride, as a messmate. later working on other Cockernell ships for Bawden Shipping on the Merkel, National Boat Carriers, West Indian Towing Company, and West Indian Lines. Mr. Dilbert would enroll at National Technical School, and at age 25, he achieved his chief engineer license. By this time, Royce had worked his way up the ranks from BR messman to wiper oiler, fireman, second and first engineer to chief engineer.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today, not for the record, Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor, and of course, we just had representatives from the Cayman Turtle Center in the studio with us talking about the 5K turtle crawl taking place on the 8th of June. That would be next this coming Sunday, and that's taking place starting at the center itself, going on Northwest Point Road to the to the beach there at the junction, turn around and back. Nice safe route. If you want to attend, registration, you can still register. You can enjoy also a special residence admission to the Turtle Center on that race day as well. So just for $10 for adults and $5 for any child under 12 and under. And you can make it a family fun day as well. They have their gift shop and all of those things. So we know that someone was inquiring about whether or not cooking lessons were given at the Turtle Center. And I am assuming that they meant cooking lessons or lessons on how to cook turtle meat. We have to recognize that the Turtle Center has a very sort of tricky balance that they need to maintain in terms of being a conservation center, educational center, and at the same time catering to our traditional needs here in the Cayman Islands as well. So their focus this afternoon was on the event and what the Turtle Center does otherwise. Now, maybe at some point in time, we can get someone on to talk about turtle meat itself, its production, and its sale. But there are many people out there who don't know how to cook turtle meat, and some people see it as a waste when certain people purchase it and try to cook it and really make a mess of it, spoil it by putting things like tomato paste in it and, all of those other things. I think, my general rule of cooking turtle meat is all you need is salt, onions, and some people use black pepper. Of course, black pepper is something now that is really waning in terms of its use because of the negative effects of ground black pepper as well. It's claimed to stay in your system and possibly do damage as well. But basically, that's all you need. You don't add butter and all of those things. You let the turtle cook under a low fire, and like the old people would say, you let it cook in its own water as well. My first lesson, my first time cooking turtle, I think I was living over in Red Bay at the time, off Selkirk Drive, and I was on the phone with my mother getting instructions on what to do, and everything is, of course, you better know how to clean it also, because if you don't know how to clean turtle meat, then I'm sorry, but it is not going to turn out well, especially if you have the fin and all of the other parts of it as well. So, talk for another day, but again, that was a question. But of course, the focus was on the 5K turtle crawl and talking about the conservation center itself and what it does also. So I'm trying to find this article about actually it was a press release. Here we go. Yeah, let's check. This is the one that I was looking for. So we know that the current administration, they have hit the ground running in many respects. Of course, we know also that the strategic policy statement is being prepared and will be presented to Parliament. So much work is being done on that, but other things are happening in the meantime. For instance, roadworks are still continuing. So those of you who live on Shamrock Road, between Discover Drive and Midway Close, there will be scheduled nighttime paving works that will be taking place in the westbound lane on between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. on Wednesday, the 4th of June, and the same times on Thursday, the 5th of June as well. Roadworks will be taking place on the southbound lane of Shamrock Road between Discover Drive. Discover Drive, if you're heading east, that is one side road before the side road before you reach Wilty Drive. So between Discover Drive and Midway Close. I'm not sure the exact location of Midway Close, but on my way home, I will look and see where Midway Close is, and if I get an opportunity to add that information. So the roadworks will be taking place between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. 4 a.m. on a Thursday morning. We normally leave home at about 3:20, 3:30 to go down to start our ride. So I may get caught up a little bit on that on Thursday morning. But be that as it may, the roadworks are more important than my cycling. So we certainly welcome those roadworks that are taking place. Likewise, we see that work, WORC, which is the acronym for Workforce Opportunities and Residence Cayman. They have announced that they will now require the submission of a medical declaration cover letter for all temporary work permit applications. So this requirement will become effective on the 1st of July. So from the 1st of July, any temporary application, all temporary applications must be accompanied by a medical declaration. And that is in accordance with the Immigration Transition Act and the relevant regulations. This goes on to say that the submission of a medical declaration cover letter continues to be mandatory for other facilities that work processes. That would include, for instance, permanent residents, I guess Cayman status, other work permit, annual work permits, things of that nature. Says applicants are encouraged to pay special attention to the checklist of requirements attached to all application forms, which are available on worc.ky. They have pointed out that applications that are received after the 1st of July 2025 without the required medical declaration cover letter will not be accepted for processing. So if you submit an application after the 1st of July without a medical declaration cover letter, your application will not be accepted. They also want to remind the public that there are specific jurisdictions, specific countries that only medicals completed by practitioners fully registered as a medical doctor from the following countries will be accepted. So they will only accept medical declaration cover letters from registered practitioners in the Cayman Islands, the United Kingdom, the United States, or Canada. Also, for individuals coming from other countries that are not listed above, and the ones listed above again are Canada, United States, United Kingdom, and the Cayman Islands. So anyone coming from any other country not listed above, the letter is still required upon submission. If the work permit is approved, approval will be contingent upon the applicant completing the necessary medical tests in the Cayman Islands within 7 days of arrival. And if you have any questions or queries, then you can review the frequently asked questions on worc.ky, or you can contact customer care by calling 945-9672 or the toll-free number 1-800-534-9672. I will share more of this information if necessary later on, but it means that those medical cover letters, if you end up with a bogus one because it's coming from a country other than the Cayman Islands, United Kingdom, United States, or Canada, you will still, if you are lucky, if you're fortunate to have your application approved, your temporary work permit application approved, then you will still have to get the medical certification letter here in the Cayman Islands before that work permit is issued as well. And of course, if you fail it, then you will end up having to do a 180 and return to your country of origin. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
You got it, Donald Trump. Oh, God.
How are you?
Okay?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Is it still raining outside, or has it let up?
It's let up. Yeah, it's just a nice overcast, but it's not drizzling or anything right now. That's really nice.
Okay.
Really nice. I heard you talking about the turtle meat, and I remember when Henry Bush was at the market, them days, my mother used to say me get the turtle meat from him. And I could see him right now stringing that turtle meat onto a piece of thatch. Remember this what we call silver thatch now? I guess you didn't get it them days like that, right? No, you were too young for that, or I'm the old one, or what?
What do you mean when they would string it up that way?
Right, yeah, that's how we had the bush. Then we used to string up the turtle meat and give it to you to take home to prepare it.
Well, I used to have to carry a pudding pan. You carry a pudding pan out to the market, and they cut it up, you weighed it, weighed it, and put it in the pudding pan.
Well, I remember the string, the what we call silver touch.
Yeah.
He did that, and the thing with it, when you went there, he doesn't know who you were there picking up turtle for, that kind of way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, doll, and I get that string up on that piece of silver touch and get on that bicycle and ride home with that, and I just dripping as you ride along with that bicycle down Walker's Road. I'm not going to say well it's dripping, but you know what I'm talking about.
We used to get conchs from Mr. Ed Bush like that, and of course they used to sell fish like that, as well. Like for instance, the fish that you didn't cut off the head, they would string it up through the mouth, and of course there's things like a squab. Then you would cut a little slit near the tail, and you fish the tats through there and string it up. Yeah.
That's true. I remember seeing that too as a young child. But I haven't eaten turtle meat in so many years because not everybody can cook it, and I never tried cooking it. But I have a strong belief I know how to do it. But I just think it's a lot of work, just like the conch. And when you try to sell those dinners, you don't make no money off of them. And even when you cook them at a party and give them away, people take more than they can eat, that kind of way, because then it's so good.
Yeah, well, I see turtle meat going for like $20 a plate in some places. $20.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not cooked like them old days gone by, believe me. It's all boiled up now, and like you say, adding all these foolishness to it, Let it do its own natural juice, just like the Cayman style beef. That produces its own juice,
Yep.
Yeah. But, see, it's hurricane season.
Yes, it is.
And I was just coming to South Sound, and a lot of private owners throughout the whole island got their trees hanging over our main streets. Why is it that it's not something in the making that they must maintain these trees from hanging over the main streets, especially every hurricane season? God, I pray nothing ever happens, but they're just there, and they look very scary when you have to drive under them. You don't know when a limb going to break. And these containers is licking up against them and breaking off limbs, and eventually it drops into the road. But I just hope that whoever's in charge will come out and start telling people, hey, shape your trees up, take them from over the road. And see us to leave that there. I want to say, see who's in charge of health now at the hospital?
You mean the minister?
Yes.
I think it's Catherine Ebanks Wilkes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Minister.
It's been going on for some time now, and I have even witnessed it too, and I have had my people go up there and come back and say they have no pillow, they don't have a blanket to wrap in, they don't have anywhere to store them, they have to try to do what they can do with them and send them back home sometime before the night is over. And a gentleman went in there a couple of nights ago, and they sent him home yesterday, and they found him sitting in a regular chair waiting. Then they go to the pharmacy. The pharmacy is not open yet, and they got to get a prescription before they go to the eastern side of the island. You would think that they would give him a couple of pills there from wherever section it came from, emergency or the main hospital, and then leave a prescription and get someone to pick it up later. But to sit up in the car 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to wait to get a prescription filled with a sick person in the car. Well, see, that's a bit hardcore. That's a bit hardcore, and and over there on Smith Road at HSA, when that building was built, it was not built for what it turned into now. And the bathrooms alone has no protection for a senior to go in there. Not even a hand grip. The toilets, look, if you sit on them, you're sitting on the floor. I don't know who's going to upgrade that area, but it needs hand grips in those bathrooms. And they need to have decent toilets for people who have knee problem, hip problem, or just a regular senior that, want to sit comfortable or whatever the case may be. And it just can't stay like this. There needs some change in these places. And also, too, when you go to some of these government places, they need to have some more in a high-up chair. Because then they have a lot of hip replacement people, a lot of seniors that when they sit down, they say, "Oh my God, I can't get up." They need to give us a little more higher chairs and throughout the service, HSA service, whatever the case may be. But anyhow, I'm gonna leave you right there for a second, okay?
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for that. We have a caller, but we're going to go to our commercial break first. When we return, we will take that caller. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to inform the public of a temporary closure of the main entrance and front section of our parking lot from 9th to 14th June to facilitate essential resurfacing works. During this period, customers are kindly asked to use the right side of the parking lot as a temporary entrance and exit. Additional parking will be available to accommodate all customers, and clear signage will be in place to guide traffic and ensure a smooth flow. We appreciate your patience and cooperation as we carry out these necessary improvements to our facilities.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor. We do have a caller and a WhatsApp number. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Yeah, Osi, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
Enjoying the rain?
Yes.
Yeah, man, we had need some.
Welcome.
Eat me some mangoes now, boy. They just dropped this morning. Last night I was waiting for that rain. So thank God now I even got some on the other side of the fence that I can't even get. So whoever on that side, they'll have to enjoy them.
What kind of mangoes you have?
Well, I have Jamaican mangoes, which I got from my neighbor. There's East Indian. But I was asking if I was going to Jan talking, and Also, I don't know what year that what year you left and went to the States, but you remember people
1967.
talking about Mr. Ethan. Okay, well, you were done going then. Mr. Ethan's boy, you call him Tiddaloo, and
Tidloo, yeah.
Mr. Guy Bird, you remember, and Elon.
Mm-hmm.
They were the fishermen down there, right where this problem is still going on with the government and the owner of this place, where the fisherman is now. Anyhow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, my father used to keep his dory, because that's what they call him then. Some people call him canoe, but he used to keep his door under Mr. Guy Bird's floor. Remember now, Mr. Guy Bird's house was built like that. You had that like a basement underneath, like a crawl space underneath. And when he would go to sea, he would pull it because the dory was kept behind Mrs. O'Brien's shop, like a little bit to the north of Mrs. O'Brien's, was kept in a little area there. And when he would go off to sea, then he would take the boat, the dory up, carry it up to Mr. Guy Bird's place, put it under his house there, and it would stay there until he came back home.
Yeah, they're there. But like I said, this problem that is going on with the fishermen there. I grew up there, and you grew up there in that area, and those stream names that I just called. They were the fishermen in those days, and they would tie up their boat right there. I remember Mr. Guy, but he had a little cranky boat. Nobody could sit in that, and I mean, he was the man for squabs. Mm-hmm. He would go up there, so tank with one pink pan full of soldiers, because that's what the squabs would like,
Mm-hmm.
and get them, and Elon, and then we had Mr. Ethan's Tiddaloo, and from time we were boys, this was that the fishermen were there. So I don't know, and I mean everybody knows that spot was for years where these fishermen come in. So I don't know. I am still wondering, and I wish somebody could enlighten me, how that gentleman bought that, who he bought that piece of place from. That's what got me puzzling. I've been thinking.
Well, I think several people have shared there's a copy of the document, from the land registry, I believe it is. There's one. I won't call the person's name because I don't have their permission to call their name, but they're, much involved in the whole issue of Red Spot, and they have circulated a copy of the document showing, about the sale and stuff like that. I think it is. There was some question about some changes and when those changes may have been made, but that document is publicly available, I believe.
Okay, because all of my life was, we used to call it Norwood Bakery, in front of Norwood Bakery, Barbie. That's what we used to call it when we were growing up, Barbie.
Well, you had three different bays there. You had Bar Bay, which was you had a big one, and you had another little cove, and then you had the Red Spot. If you were coming from the south, moving towards the north, that's the way it was. You had three coves there.
Yeah, but remember, all of us learned to swim there. It was they had a piece of 2 by 12, I think it was, cross from one piece of rock to the next. And I remember that you wanted to swim, we would push you overboard and say, shark behind you, kick, hold your head up and paddle. And that's how we learned to swim, So that's a historic place for fishermen. That's a historic spot for fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going over 3 scores now in 10, and I remember it from there as a boy. So I hope that they can get that sorted out, because, I mean, not only me one is concerned, wondering who owned that place, because I don't know how anybody could have owned the Iron Shore. I don't know. So that coming from way back, that's good to investigate. You know what I mean? You're good on that. So you can investigate how far back that come with the first ownership. I don't know. But on another note, see, where John was talking about the public places and for senior citizens and things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I brought it up to you already. When I was working in the police force, me and Mr. Gilbert McLaughlin, along with Miss Joyce Hilton, I got the paper, and I think it was in the Compass or Northwest. I have the paper put away in some of my books there with me and Gilbert in our traffic uniform and Miss Joyce Hilton, where we made signs putting up for senior citizens and disabled people that they were having chairs for them to sit in, like if they go in the post office and had to wait in every public place available, and they had that seniors were always first. And we had those signs put up there, and I spoke to two premiers about that, and they told me, well, the law is in place, but it's not enforced. I spoke to Mr. Panton when I went to his office in Savannah here and spoke to him, showed him the pictures with me and Mr. Gilbert McLaughlin and Miss Joyce Hilton, where she was the one that decided, because, she was involved with, children and family.
Yeah, she was a probation officer. She was a probation officer.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And up to now, I see, I don't go too much, but I saw that when you go in places, the public places, help the people, young people, they're in line, but a senior citizen coming or a disabled person, they don't have no way to sit down to wait their
So you're
turn.
talking about public, you're talking about government buildings, or you're talking about buildings in general? Because what I would say about that is that the owner of any business or anyone running a business really needs to look out for the clientele that they're catering to. That's the responsibility of the particular business. Now, the government's responsibility in relation to businesses that are either licensed or buildings that are constructed is that they should adhere to certain requirements and standards that they have set. Like, for instance, they should be catering to those persons who are either disabled or physically challenged as well. But it's up to the businesses have to cater to that. Not necessarily, yes, if it's a government building, then the government, should be responsible for that. And as far as enforcement of any laws, the government is responsible for that as well. But any private company that is out there that is catering to you, the public, needs to provide the amenities, for you as their customer.
Yeah, I know, but I think that the government has enough power that they can make that a law, that you must provide proper services for disabled and elderly people, along with the government.
Point taken. Yeah, point taken. Okay.
So I hope that something can be done, because this is old beating a horse. Because I spoke about this many times, and I thought that I had sent you the thing with me and Miss Joyce, and but I'll look it up and send it over for you. Get it over, send it over for you.
Do that. Thank you very much. We have another caller on hold, but we're going to take the commercial break first. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Are you feeling overwhelmed, sad, stressed out, or suicidal and need support? Call 1-800-534-6463. K-Mind, Mental Health Helpline. It's okay to ask for help. K-Mind Mental Health Helpline, available from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. It's free and confidential support and guidance on your emotional and psychological health.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We have a caller on hold. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. O.C.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I was interested in hearing the last caller talking about some land on the waterfront there.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's the one where the fishermen are actually doing their distribution of their fish and so on, or cleaning fish and so on, or whether it's on the little further south. I'm more interested in what's happening there close to Sandbar. That building there, between that and the Port Authority. That was vacant land. I don't know if it was owned by if it's owned by government or was or what. And it was also, I remember some years ago when they wanted to extend a little covered area for the Sandbar restaurant. I think planning was hesitant to give them much of an extension on it because it was very limited land and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yet nowadays you gotta look to me like a real hellhole in between that and the Port Authority building. I don't know. It looks like a restaurant. It looks like an entertainment thing. It looks like a devilish operation. All sorts of things that's not pleasing to the Lord for sure. I'm pretty sure. So can you give me any idea if they have permission for mounting all these things right out on the edge of the water, 2 and 3 stories high, and all these animations there, all sorts of, I would say, devilish looking animations. And why is all that happening there? And how can they do it? I don't know if they have planning permission or what. If they do, it means that it's the double standard with the planning permission.
Yeah, so, I must admit that I'm not familiar with it, but I believe that particular property, there was a back and forth in relation to, alleged breaches, of the either the planning law, the planning regulations, or something like that. So I'm not sure if that has been resolved to everyone's satisfaction or what. But maybe someone who's listening and maybe familiar with it will chime in for us.
Well, it certainly doesn't look Caymanian-ish by any means. And in fact, it should not be there, I don't think. Anyway, another thing, next to the Church of God on the South Church Street, Seafarers Way nowadays, there's a little shack that was on the seaside there. When they got permission to do that, the permission requested was for people to sit there and look out at on the waterfront, ships or whatever they wanted to see.
Okay.
A little gazebo type of thing. Well, recently, and I complained about this some weeks ago, they were getting water hooked up to it on a Sunday morning, making all kind of noise with the NRA equipment, trying to hooking up the water supply from the main supply there. Luckily, it was on that side of the road. They didn't have to cut the road in two to get to the main supply. But my objection is, and anyway, what I'm asking is, what kind of permission do they have now? Because more than likely, it looks like they've enclosed it. And at one Pirates Week parade, they had liquor sitting on the shelf there, distributing or showing whatever products they had in there.
And this is a private company?
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
I'm sure it is. Now it looks like they're getting ready to have a full-fledged bar there. And I'm wondering, how can that be allowed there? It shouldn't have been there to begin with, but nothing's supposed to be built on the waterfront there, no other than those older buildings that were there for years and years. Yet this is being allowed to keep doing a little bit inch by inch. And pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken, you'll see that opening up as a bar, or they'll call it an extension to the restaurant across the street, I guess. But I wonder how many more of these kind of things we're going to tolerate before we say no to some of these things.
That's a good question, yeah.
There's more bureaucracy in every aspect of government, I should say. So they must be able to create some more bureaucracy to stop certain things when they need to, and not just sit and watch these things happen and can't do a thing about it. So I'd like that to find out something about what they're doing there. And if it's a bar or a restaurant extension from the restaurant across the street, I don't think that's a wise thing to do. You'd probably kill somebody walking across the street with supplies or something. And it's unsightly to be there on the waterfront for that purpose especially.
Okay.
So I guess I gave you enough headache.
No, that's okay. I'll try to see what I as a matter of fact, the next time I cross there, usually, I crossed there this morning, but it was about 10 minutes to 5. I was on the bike. So, but the next time I'm going to make it a point to take a look at it and see exactly, what's there. And then maybe we can find out something from planning as to what type of approval has been given, for the use.
I know, because I was on planning when an application was made for them to use it as a restaurant. When the question came up about sanitary conditions, what would they use it? You know what they said? Go behind the wall. They'll go behind the wall. That's a whole wall.
Wow.
But I don't know if they're having a restroom in it now or not, but I know it should not be a bar, even a restaurant in that location. So I'd appreciate to hear some more about that, what's happening.
Okay, we'll see what we can find out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and please stay safe as well. Let's grab a next caller. WhatsApp number, caller. Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Yeah, Mr. Connor. What Mr. Thomas is talking about, it's a disgrace to have such a monster-looking situation right down there in the center of Georgetown. And it seems to be a little party spot during the weekends and all that kind of stuff. Who's in charge? Who's the owner now? I don't know. But it's a good question to know how they got the power to put what they put there and can use it for entertainment, And you remember the chocolate box little building? Everybody knew the chocolate box, and it was the Parsons magazine stores many years ago. You remember right there by Old Cayman National Bank, right across from the Royal?
Yeah, I remember that.
Next to the church. Well, that just turned into a bar, and when you cross there, the liquor is so exposed that it's unbelievable. And when the visitors are stepping down off of that sidewalk, they're not even looking to see what is behind them, regardless if they had a drink or no drink. And that's how these visitors are when they come here too. They think that everybody's driving on the right-hand side, but they don't realize we're on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But the chocolate box, that's a little open bar restaurant. And when you cross there, you can see the liquor just as plain as anything. And I think that's a little bit too bold to have right there downtown Georgetown. It's too open. It's just too open, you know. And I did see that little cabana there by Mr. Tommy, piece of property as well as when Mr. Clinton was there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't know what it's going to be turned into, but it's like, you know, you can just go and say, hey, I got a spot, and this is what I want to put there, and bang, you can do it.
Everything is being commercialized, huh?
You know, and they're not even thinking about the long-term consequences of the destruction to our young generation, the area, the devalue or the value. Sometimes I really wonder what planet is thinking. You know, when I tried to do something, my daughter did all investigation. They can tell us that all my property is too low density to do this and do that. If you're going to do anything, you got to get a plan and add it onto your roof, and you got to this and you got to that. And I told them, I spoke to them. I said, let me tell you something. This whole blasted island is low density, but anything to keep down a little Caymanian, even if somebody's giving it to them and they go to planning or some other way to get what they got to get whatever someone give them to get it rolling, it's a problem. It's a problem. But anyhow, I know your news time is coming up, so you need to take a little grand tour in town one day. Like I heard there was no cruise ships today. I don't know how true that was, but today would have been a good day for you to drive to town. But try to do it tomorrow and go look at that building.
I mean, if I have to get off my bike in the morning, I'll get off the bike and look at it.
Yeah, look at it and take some pictures. I don't know how much you can see, but you can get, and they even pour cement going out to the water. Yeah, they got cement poured out to some parts of the waters under that cement.
Wow, yeah.
But anyhow, that's Cayman. All right, later.
Thank you. Take care now. Okay, so one of our listeners wanted to know what they wanted to know what will there be an additional section on the form stipulating what is required in the declaration. They're talking about the medical declaration cover letter that it will now be effective the 1st of July of this year, required when temporary work permits are submitted. And of course, that medical declaration letter will only be accepted from medical doctors from the Cayman Islands, the United Kingdom, the United States, or Canada. Anywhere else, it still has to be done here in Cayman. So there are two parts to the medical declaration cover letter. It's a pro forma, which means that basically it is a form that has already been formatted. So all what you have to do is fill in the information in the appropriate sections. So, for instance, on part one, first you have to you date it. It has to be dated, and if you know the worker's reference number, if the person has a reference number, that means a file at work or which has a reference number, you insert that into the form as well. And then on part one, which has to be completed by the applicant, right? The applicant, that's the individual who is seeking to work in the Cayman Islands. The first name, the last name, the date of birth, the country of birth, telephone numbers either or cell, home, work, the employer, who the employer is going to be, and the position that the person has applied for. And then there's a checklist as for what purpose is the medical declaration letter. Is it for a temporary? So you got to check box for temporary, for work permit, for permanent residence, for Caymanian status, or as a dependent. Which means that if you are applying for either of these, a medical cover letter is required. If you're applying for a temporary, if you're applying for a work permit, if you're applying for permanent residence, if you're applying for Caymanian status, or if you are the dependent of someone, you will require that medical certificate. So that is part one. Part two of the medical declaration cover letter, which is to be completed by the medical examiner, right? So the person who is being examined does the first part one. The medical examiner completes part two. And it reads, "Dear Sir / Madam, this is to certify that I have examined," and the full name of the person is given, "on the date, day, month, and year is given." And then it says the applicant is, one checkbox is for of good health. The second one is not of good health and does not suffer or does suffer from any / a form of communicable or mental disease that would make that person a danger to the community. So the medical doctor is certifying that they have examined an individual on a particular date. They then attest that either the applicant is of good health or is not of good health, and that the applicant either does not suffer or does suffer from any form of communicable or mental disease that would make that person a danger to the community. And it is then signed, and I have to go to headline news at 2 o'clock. When I return, I will tell you what the other portion of that part two is all about. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline
With a
news
look
is
at your
brought to you
latest
by
headlines,
Kirk Market.
I'm Tiffany Eric Jr. Cunningham and Rodman Jr. Samuels appeared in court on Friday, facing charges of importing ganja. The Crown alleges that on the 25th of March, located some 32 nautical miles, the duo had ganja weighing 162 pounds and 80 ounces to be imported into the Cayman Islands. Eric Jr. Cunningham pled not guilty and has a trial set for the 29th of September, set to last 7 to 10 days, following a case management conference on the 28th of August. The duo are remanded in custody. In regional news, the Belize government has issued a public warning against purchasing and consuming a product labeled as royal honey, marketed for sexual enhancement. The Ministry of Health and Wellness stated alerts from the US FDA and Costa Rica's Ministry of Health confirmed the presence of undeclared pharmaceutical ingredients, which may pose health risks. Officials strongly advise obtaining health products from only licensed pharmacists and authorized distributors, urging the public to avoid purchasing medication and supplements from informal sources. In other regional news, Suriname has declared Wednesday, the 4th of June, a national day of mourning as authorities continue searching for missing persons from a boating accident near the Tapuki Bambusi area in the Marawina district. President Chandri Kapursad Santoki has ordered flags on public buildings and ships to be flown at half-mast. Officials in Suriname and French Guyana are investigating the incident, which has claimed the lives of 3 so far. 4 people survived, including an 11-year-old boy who managed to cling to a tree branch. That's your latest headlines. I'm Tiffany Dixon-Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. About 25 minutes left to go in the show this afternoon and one more commercial break as well. So I was sharing with you the medical declaration letter that is required now, that will be required for temporary work permits. And I'll talk a little bit more about temporary work permits if time allows. So the medical examiner makes an attestation on the form. They give the certify that they have examined such and such a person on such and such a date, that the applicant is either of good health or of not of good health and does not suffer or does suffer from any form of communicable or mental disease that would make that person a danger to the community. Sincerely, and then the full name of first name, last name, and the medical registration number of the examiner, the job title, the place where the medical examination took place, and the email address as well as a phone number. And then there's another part where it says, I hereby declare that I am a duly appointed and or certified medical examiner. I confirm that the information and representation contained in this medical examination form, and gives the work number and stuff like that, are true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. I am aware that it is a criminal offense under the Cayman Islands Immigration Transition Act 2022 revision to make a statement or representation that is false or misleading, and that I may be prosecuted if found in breach of this offense. And the authorizing physician then has to affix his or her signature to that declaration as well. So that is what is required in terms of the medical declaration, and what it is seeking to clarify as to whether or not the applicant is of good health and does not suffer from any form of communicable or mental disease that would make that person a danger to the community. So, like we said, this requirement has now been reintroduced for temporary work permits. Now, when I saw this announcement being made, at first I said to myself, I thought whether or not the government was getting a little bit ahead of themselves, because we know that there has been a resounding call out there for temporary work permits to revert back to the old days when temporaries were first introduced in the Cayman Islands, temporary work permits, that they were issued for genuine, and I place the emphasis on genuine, temporary work only. That meant that after that period of work was concluded, the individual would leave the jurisdiction. Initially, temporary work permits were for 30 days. Then it was changed, and you got 30 days, and then you could apply for an extension of an additional 60 days to give a total of 90 days, 3 months. And you know what happens in the Cayman Islands. When you see a good thing, you want to take advantage of it. And you want to push the envelope, and you want to push it a little further and a little further. And in most instances, who is it that's doing the pushing? Not necessarily the government, but the employers or prospective employers out there who are thinking only of themselves and their bottom line and absolutely nothing else. So what they pushed for, they eventually got it, that you could get a temporary for up to 6 months. So folks, we went from 30 days to 6 months in a lifetime, in less than a lifetime. Sorry. So we went from 30 days to 6 months. And then to put the icing on the cake, what else did we do? We then said that if you applied for a 1 year, an annual work permit before the expiry of those 6 months, if you applied for a 1 year application before the expiry of those 6 months, bingo, bingo, bingo. The slot machine bells rang. You could continue to employ that person until you got a reply on the annual work permit. So, if you got 6 months and you applied for it a week before those 6 months expire, and if it took whatever relevant board or administrator to deal with the 1 year application, if it took 1 year for that to be done, that person could continue to work during that period. Bingo, bingo, bingo for the companies and the work permit holder. What did it do for those Caymanians who would want to apply for those positions, or who may have applied for those positions? What did it do? That first 3 months allowed the non-Caymanian temporary work permit holder to get their foot in the door. And once they got their foot in the door and got the second foot in the door, what did they do? They slammed the door, jam tight. Nobody else is getting into this door. I hope you all enjoy the way that I'm putting this, metaphorically. Nobody else gets into that door. Now, what do we mean by nobody else? Well, that person has the inside line now on the job for the 1 year application, which has to be advertised, right? Which has to be advertised. But in many instances, the advertisement is now put in such a way, is worded in such a way to accommodate the person who got their foot in the door and slammed the door afterwards. So effectively, already blocking any Caymanian for an opportunity to get that job because they already have the inside track. That, folks, is why it is necessary, irrespective of what employers say about the speed at which work permit applications are approved, or the fact that they need someone right away. The issue of temporary work permits, the way that it is done now, is done to the detriment of any Caymanian applicant seeking that job. That is why we need to have temporary work permits revert to a genuine temporary situation, with the stipulation that the person must leave the jurisdiction at the end of that temporary period, and it should not exceed 3 months. As a matter of fact, I think that is being extremely generous, but it should not exceed 3 months. With that, we're going to take our last commercial break. If you have any views or opinions on my pontification, share them with me. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Freedom, Cayman Brac. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. We are on the last leg of the show this afternoon. We do have a caller. We're going to take the caller on WhatsApp. Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Connor. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just listening to your show.
Thank you.
Do
Thanks.
you know what conditions a person got how to be health wise to be turned down a permit?
Well, the medical the reason for a medical is to, number one, show that they're fit to work, and I think the main part of it really is whether or not they're suffering from any type of communicable disease, something that they could be spread either by contact or otherwise in the community, and that is the main concern. So certain diseases, I don't know if they would. At one point in time, I know they included sexually transmitted diseases as well. But the physical as well as mental, it mentions on this form.
Well, that's what I was getting at, because I know people that got AIDS that is coming into the country and that is sexually active.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they say now you got medications that could be taken for the HIV and stuff, and you don't pass it on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I know definitely that they got people that got other, besides AIDS too, other sexual transmitted disease, and they're coming into the country, So I think there's another something that worth looking into. That I know it didn't used to be that way, but during the last 10 or so years, it became that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I don't think that it's that anything like that should happen at all.
Yeah,
in the country, because when somebody come to the country, they're sexually active, they could spread the disease and make a havoc on the community,
Yeah, and I would imagine that other than this declaration itself, there's an examination that has to take place now. Whether or not that's a pro forma thing for, I know at one point in time there was a medical form that had to be completed. And one of the reasons for changing it and just requiring the certification, because let's say, for instance, if during the medical examination, ultrasounds or x-rays have to be taken, then it wasn't necessary for the immigration authorities to have those. All they needed to have was a report in relation to those. They didn't need to have those because there was no one in immigration who had the ability to read those things. So that is why it is necessary for a medical examiner, medical doctor, to examine the person and then to make that declaration afterwards. So they're putting their reputation as well as their certification online as well by ensuring that whatever they provide is accurate. Now, one of the reasons why you have certain countries that is specified from, that to me tells me that some of the information either coming or that may have come from other jurisdictions were not as reliable as they should have been. I'm, sort of like putting that mildly.
I mean, in cases that they do know that it isn't hidden, I'm talking about in some cases that it is declared on the medical record that this person has HIV or this person has AIDS, and they still grant the permit.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I know cases like that, because you could take medication while you're here and stuff at HSA,
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
But I think that's something worth looking into.
Yep, I'll make some inquiries about that. Thank you very much as well. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Mr. Connor.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the bus riders now today in Cayman with foreigners here having children, and what is their rights here in Cayman? You probably don't follow me.
You mean?
Let's say, for example, I'm on a work permit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a child here in the Cayman Islands. What right does that child have?
Nothing. Initially, nothing. I believe there might be something in the British Nationality Act that after something like 10 years, they can apply for registration as a British Overseas Territory citizen, something to that effect after being here for 10 years. But other than that, they actually don't acquire anything. They have to take the nationality of their parent or parents. So then they're able to go to school here, get medical for the child from government? If they are allowed as dependents on the parents' work permit and they're at school age, because what our Constitution says is that any child of school age must attend school. That would be the option as to whether or not the child attends a private school, because they can also attend public school if there is available space in a public school. But that is contingent upon the work authorities or the boards including them as dependents on one of their parents' work permit. Or if it's a contract if it's in government. Mm-hmm. Where we get these rules and laws that we can accommodate these things? I'm not saying that we must be selfish and be so perfect that we don't want to share our little beautiful island. Please don't misunderstand me. No, we've had that. That has been in place all along. That's not something that has just been reinvented. I mean, every expectant mother that I see around here in Cayman, it's a foreigner. And I was just wondering, and this thing about if you can support your child while you're on a work permit in this island. You have to establish that. Yes, you have to establish that as well. Mm-hmm. So how is that established to the fact that the child is going to a government school, getting a government ride, getting a government lunch? No, they pay. They have to pay fees now with the new lunch system. They would get the free lunch, but they have to pay fees. They have to pay government fees. Now, government fees may be less than the private schools, but if they're attending government school and they're non-Caymanian children, they have to pay fees. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Do we have any proof that that's really happening in real life here in this island? Well, I would have to get someone from education to answer that, but they're required to. We know that much. Yeah. Yeah, because from the look on our streets here, in the stores and so forth, it's going to be a lot of nationalities here on our streets trying to call themselves Caymanians, and down the line, and Caymanians are not even having children no more. I wish I could have about 25 more so I can have them spread out through the whole island. Yeah. All right, thank you. Okay, bye. Thank you very much. Good. We still have 5 minutes left. This person wanted to ask, why is it that they're still seeing so many outdated license plates driving on the road, some of which are so reckless driving on the road. Many months ago, licensing department put out a final warning that all of those ancient license plates were going to be discarded, and yes, there would be a fine. I don't know if there was going to be a fine, but I know that they made some calls for people to turn them in. Why is there still so many reckless drivers on the road with them? You can barely make out some of the numbers. Okay. It is a point whether or not the DVDL has the resources to get out there and police them in terms of those persons who need to collect their license plates. I would say, well, and whether or not it's the license, the change of a license plate is going to do anything to the driving habits. I mean, yes, I understand that. If you can see them better, if you can discern what's on them, then you can report them. But I would say that my focus would be more on how many vehicles are being driven on the road without being properly licensed, properly inspected, and more importantly, insured. Because you know what? If they are not insured, then everyone else using the roads who are insured, you're subjected out there to some serious issues if you are involved in an accident with one of them, and especially if it is their fault. Because what it means, if they have no insurance, there's no insurance company for you to make a claim to, unless you're fortunate to have an insurance policy on your vehicle that you're going to be covered even if somebody else hits you. Otherwise, you end up having to bring civil action against the individual for any claims that you may have. That, to me, is more concerning than anything else. On our roads, uninsured drivers, and folks, there are many of them. You look at this condition of some of the vehicles out there, you know to yourself that that vehicle could not pass an inspection, which means then they're not inspected, and they're probably not insured as well, because for you to get your inspection, you have to have your insurance. So if you don't, there's no need for an inspection, there's no need for insurance. Just my take on it. Some other persons may have otherwise, but some, have that as well. One of our listeners said that they supported the commentary that I made about temporary work permits. So, like I was saying earlier, when I saw this announcement, I thought it was part of the government, the new government's initiative in relation to immigration reform, because I was saying to myself, why are we doing it piece by piece by piece? But this, I'm made to understand, addresses another concern that is out there as well. So we hope and we trust that when we're looking at the work permit reform, that we will take a serious look at temporary work permits and recognize the detrimental effect that it has for Caymanian applicants, because that person coming here on a temporary with the explicit intention through that individual as well as the employer not to be here on a temporary basis, but to get their foot in the door, to get started early for a full-time job in the Cayman Islands that will take them to whatever period the government decides that they're going to push them over. No, I mean roll them over, sorry. I use that word push over as well. I believe that was deliberate, folks. That was deliberate as well. So I think I have covered everything. I'm a minute and a quarter past the end of the show today. So I want to thank all of you who participated. Again, I want to say kudos to the people at the Turtle Center. Hope their 5K turtle crawl goes well on Sunday, the 8th of this month. And you should get out there and support them as well. Folks, if it is still raining out there, if you're a driver or a road user, please stay safe. Ensure that you observe all of the rules of the road, including adjusting your speed to suit the conditions under which you're driving, as well as keeping a safe distance between you and the vehicle that is in front of you. Have a great day and God bless.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
You are listening to Radio Cayman.